In this video, let's try to use mask in our main composition in After Effects. So what I have here are 3 layers. One is PG, an image, and a mask. So this is what my mask looks like when I scrub my timeline that is moving along my layer 1 composition. Well, that's the mask that I created. And when I open layer 1, which contains the mask, it looks like this. It has path, feather, opacity, and expansion. But what is masking? It says here that it's a path or outline that is used to modify a layer, effects, and properties. The most common use of mask is to modify a layer's alpha channel. A mask consists of segments and vertices. Segments are the lines, curves that connect vertices. All we have to remember is path, outline, and alpha channel. But what is alpha channel? Alpha channel is represented by a white and black color. White being visible and black being invisible. So as you can see, I have an image, an alpha channel, and the result when combined both. It says here that the image has a black background and the colored one is the image. When I include an alpha channel in this image, the result will be like this. Black would be invisible, as you can see here in the result, white being the visible, and the gray area, which is 50% of both, is a shadow. It can also be used on moving images as well. Well, anyway, let's go back to our After Effects. Inside my layer 1, which is named mask, I have a mask and a mask 1. I can also duplicate this and have numerous masks in my scene, but let me delete that and I'll just create a new one. I can add a new mask by selecting my layer 1 and then going to my shapes because I want a different shape, and then I'll create a different shape. If you notice, mask 2 is added on my layer 1, and if I hit subtract, it will create an outline inside my layer 1. It created a hole inside my layer 1. But if I don't want any holes, I can add this. And there we go. We have shapes inside this layer 1. But we don't need that. We need this subtracted. Or we can also do is make it intersect with one another. So if we change this and I move my mask 2, both of the shapes intersected with one another, therefore creating a new filled shape. So if I unselect, it looks like this. Well, anyway, let me delete my mask 2 so we can proceed. And let me change this to subtract. Inside my layer 1, we have path, feather, opacity, and expansion. The path helps us to navigate inside our scene. It's like the position of X and Y. The feather is it softens the hard edge of our mask. So if I increase this, if you notice, the hard edge becomes a soft edge. And if I revert this back to 0, it becomes a hard edge. And if I make this 100, it's so soft. But we can also increase that. Let me revert this back to 0. And opacity is we can reduce the amount of color in our mask from 100 to 0 or just 50%. And the last is the expansion. It increases the size of our mask shape. And in this case, my circle, as you can see, the circle size is increasing. And if I go to the negative, it decreases its size. It's like the rescale in Transform. So inside my working area, I'll right click, go to new, and select solid, and change the color of this to probably green, and make this masking 02 and hit OK. Make sure that your layer is selected before creating a mask. So mine is layer 1, and I go to shape, and then I'll create a shape, and then there you go. You see that it created a new mask, and I'll just subtract, and there we have it. We have created our own mask. Now for animating it. Let's just create a keyframe on mask path and then let's move it along. Make sure that mask 1 is selected and not the layer itself, because if you select only the layer and you want to animate this, this is what will happen. The entire layer will move along, and we don't want that to happen. What we want is only the mask 1 to be animated. So let me select mask 1, select the entire shape or outline, and then move it along. And if I scrub this, you see that it's moving. Same goes to the expansion and the other. So for the expansion, I'll create a keyframe, and then from here I will expand the size, and there we go. We are animating our mask. Of course, we can use different shapes of mask, and in here I use an ellipse outline and animated the position of my mask to make it look like this. I also animated the expansion from circle to a rectangular shape. We can also use the alpha as a mask, and as you can see here, if I scrub this, a city in the background is moving along the empty space of the word. The only limitation is your imagination. And that's it. Well, I hope you learned a lot from this lesson, and see you next time.